Okay, I started it.
My employer might be watching.
All right, guys, we're live with our second diagnostic discussion after dark. It is October the 9th, 2018, and we've got a little. It's still going to be informal. We're still going to have fun. We're monitoring the YouTube chat, so if you guys want to join in the conversation there, we appreciate it greatly. So we're going to talk about some of the raffles and stuff we've got going on, some of the events we're going to be at, and some exciting news. A couple different exciting news situations we got going on. So I think first thing we have, I think Bren is going to lead us off with some fun information, fun, exciting news.
Okay, you guys can hear me all right? Is there an echo? Okay. I hear an echo on my end, but I'll work through it. Good afternoon, evening, whatever the heck it is, everybody out there. So we're excited. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. So we're fastly approaching Super Saturday event. We're super excited about. But thank you for joining us. We just want to quickly talk on some of these things. But the last event that we did here, the live event we did, turned out pretty good, we think. Just had fun with it, basically. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend, but we had a gentleman by the name of Mario comment on it. I guess he was pretty impressed with the way it went. And I guess we talked about one of his case studies, and he seemed very, in our opinion, just genuine and just very thankful for what it is that we do and others like us do as far as sharing our knowledge. And, in fact, he has his own YouTube channel, Super Mario Brothers Diagnostics, or Super Mario Diagnostics. Is it Super Mario Diagnostics? Great stuff. I've seen some of his stuff's great. But anyways, we were just kind of touched by his message after the last thing. And we're all about, we're fortunate enough to be able to attend some of these events. I think once you do, oftentimes what happens is you just kind of try to make it happen from that point forward. It's kind of like an addiction. It's just great to be around some of the best in the industry. So, but a large part of what we do is just wanting to share those experiences with everybody. I think my opinion is that it's a tough industry. It's not the best working environments oftentimes. We don't get the respect that we deserve oftentimes. So if we can help somebody else attend an event and just kind of also experience that, which I think is career-changing type thing, that we love doing so. And so seeing Mario's message, he just seemed like an awesome guy and just genuinely thankful for others that share, and he obviously does his own sharing of his knowledge and experiences. So we reached out and offered to help him attend the Super Saturday event. So we're super thankful that we're able to do that. One of the benefits of being a large group like this is that we can kind of join forces, if you will, and kind of make some of these things happen. But with that, we do want to touch on. We're going to talk about some of the things that we're doing. We're selling some T-shirts and stickers, and we have some other stuff coming up, raffle type stuff. And I just wanted to remind you guys that, or let you guys know that we're not in this to make money. Most of that stuff is basically to allow us to do this type of thing, so we can share training events and classes with others, just kind of help encourage people and get them out of the bay and allow them to experience some of the better things about our industry and meet some of the best people in our industry and take classes from some of the best teachers in our industry. So with that, I'll pass the torch to kind of share. Actually, was it we were going to talk about, do you want me to talk about the one thing that we wanted to mention now, or do you want me to kind of follow up after some of the other ones, guys?
Well, let's talk to Mario and see how Mario is.
Yeah, let's hear from Mario. Mario, all right to talk for a quick minute about your experience from last time? And
Yeah, I gotta say it's been pretty positive ever since making that response video to the first live discussion. I was pretty surprised, and it's been pretty ecstatic ever since. I gotta say it's there's nothing like networking with other great techs and getting to know you guys and being able to share this among all of this industry. Pretty stoked. Looking forward to Super Saturday, and I really can't wait, man. This is going to be amazing training, and I really do appreciate you guys taking the time to reach out to me and help me be a part of it. You know, I really do appreciate that from you guys. Um, and I think I don't know how much I've said it already. These techs, all techs all around need to know that um, it's not about who knows it all. It's about what we can learn, you know. And this is another step towards that, and I really do appreciate it from all of you guys. You know,
Be of help. I'm glad to be of service.
you guys have been great and very welcoming. So it's pretty awesome. I did share some of your um, channels on my videos as well. So I want people to know what's really going on out here. That we're all reaching out to each other, and I hope people get the message.
Well, we were all very happy that we were able to do it and come together and make it happen for you.
Absolutely. I think anytime you're able to do something, yeah, it makes it more fun when it's somebody that's really deserving, and that was kind of all of our thought with regard to you, is that you seemed genuine. You're doing your thing to help, and you know, to the best of our knowledge, it didn't seem, you know, we hadn't seen you at some of the events, so we wanted to give you the opportunity, and we're glad that we were able to do so, and we're super glad that you're able to come. So thank you for what you do, and we look forward to meeting you face to face for the first time here in a few days.
And Tommy's a hugger. So
Well, I'm looking forward to it, man. I will embrace it. You know, you guys are, as far as I can tell, true professionals, and I look forward to meeting you guys face to face this Saturday, man.
Who in our chat? Who in our chat's going to be a Super Saturday this weekend? I see David Wagner's there. He's one of the ones helping put it on, so I know he'll be there. Who else is going to be there?
I also wanted to point it out that Pico Bull in the chat is saying paying it forward, and that was kind of, I think we emphasize that as much as we can, but I feel like it's never emphasized enough. That's the point of what we're doing, is try to grow everybody in the industry. You know, I mean, when the tide rises, all boats rise kind of situation. We're doing the best we can to help everyone, and I hope everyone realizes we'd love to be able to send every single individual to every single event, but we're going to work through and try to get as much of this kind of situation as possible. I mean, we were fortunate enough to be able to send Mario this time, and we hope to definitely send more. I think we're definitely going to do that soon. So
with that, we have plans specifically, and thank you so much to guys that came before us. Like, there are so many awesome what I consider industry leaders. Pete Meyer mentioned, he used the word icon today when he interviewed George Minshew, and I don't disagree at all. So it's a tough industry. You know, it's not on a day basis. It's not easy, like I mentioned earlier, but we're fortunate for the resources we have and the hardworking professionals that we can take advantage of and learn from, and that have worked hard to make this thing better for us. And that's kind of what we're all about too, is just like Keith said, is paying that forward. But so specifically, you know, when we thank you to Jim. He had plans to first, I guess, just pay us a large amount of money for a shirt so that we can, he wants to help us out. And that's just who Jim Morton is. He just is an awesome person. And again, just, we're super fortunate to have guys like him in our industry. But he decided instead that he was going to buy a Pico scope kit and donate it to us so that we can use that, raffle off or something, and make some monies to keep doing what we're doing, because it does cost money to do what we're doing. We work probably almost as hard with this project as we do as our real jobs. But anyways, he reached out to some of the best guys in the industry, George and Carlos Menchu, and told him of his plans. And he had no intentions of them helping. He wanted to do it all on himself, but they wouldn't have it. They offered to, they wanted to do it. So they're donating a picoscope kit to us, and we're going to raffle it off. And again, going back to the shirts and stickers, what this does is allow us to basically help others attend events. So what we plan on doing is doing at least one full ride scholarship with the money that the proceeds that come from that raffle for that picoscope. So we're going to sell the raffle tickets at $25 a piece, and we're going to sell 200 of them. So we're going to cap it at $200. It's not bad odds, 1 in 200 chance at winning a picoscope kit. And again, the proceeds are going to go to at least one full ride scholarship division. And we're super excited to be able to do it. I wanted to take the opportunity to thank Jim Morton so much. Thank you, Jim, and thank you, George and Carlos. You guys are freaking amazing. So.
I agree. Thank you for everything that you've done for us and given us the chance to help others by helping guide us through everything that we've done over the past year, and doing things like giving us a picoscope so that we can raffle that off. I mean, everything that you guys have done for us and the talks that you've had with us to help guide us through, it's really meant a lot to all of us.
I'll personally never be able to thank Jim Morton enough, especially since he was one of the first instructors I really met at Vision in 2016, and that forever changed my career and my life. So to be able to pay it forward is a tremendous honor. So again, I thank you personally, Jim, and I hope to see you Saturday.
Dilly.
Yeah, it's actually pretty awesome to be involved in all this kind of stuff. And again, it's what Trained by Tex is about. Basically, the paying it forward. And what I think he said it best. What would you say? Rising tide raises all boats.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly what we're about. Yeah. Because the more information we can pass on, the better everybody gets, and then we can all get to the next level. And that's what this is about. And so again, thank you everybody for all of this.
Wow. Holy cow, man.
Yes. David, thank you.
To Pennsylvania.
No. Let's get it out there.
Heck yeah, man. You guys heard it. This is a perfect example of what we're talking about. There's so many great, amazing people in this industry, and Joe and David that have set up this Super Saturday event. This is, I know, at least the second year they've done it since they've started redoing it, maybe more. Last year was a big hit. I hear the energy was just awesome, and we're super excited to be at the Super Saturday. So come on out, man. That's pretty awesome. Take advantage of that. These are the top trainers in the nation, and they work extremely hard to put this information together, to share their knowledge, their experiences, and rise the tide themselves. So come on out, take advantage of what their hard work and their love and their passion for this industry. And so that's awesome.
I know most of us here know Bruce Oliver, but in the YouTube chat, and I hope I'm not, I'm going to make sure I read this twice. Bruce says that he'll pay a registration cost for a second scholarship. So that's awesome.
It was published. We're holding you to it.
It's on the internet, Bruce. It's over. But he did specify
a second scholarship.
He says a second registration cost. So he'll pay the registration cost for a second person. We don't want to. That's amazing. That's awesome, Bruce. Thank you.
Wow.
And then we'll work. We're going to try to work to get we got to get travel covered, and then hotel, and that's another full ride. I mean, that's
wow.
Well, if they're two dudes, they can share a room, right?
Right. There you go. Yeah.
Wow. That's
I hope that shows more people, what kind of community we're trying to build and what the purpose of it is. And we're not a fundraiser campaign right now. We're not telling you guys in the chat to go and start, helping us do all this. We appreciate it. Absolutely. But don't strain yourselves. Just, help be part of the community, help spread the word. I mean, we understand not everyone can financially obligate that. Everyone else has obligations. We can't financially all do this. So that's the point of it. But thank you. Thank you, Bruce.
Absolutely. And I want to say that we're just wanting to share it. I mean, this type of community already exists, but unfortunately, for those of you that haven't been able to attend any kind of event, you don't necessarily see it or feel it. So we're just trying to share it. This is why do you attend events like this, because you get a feel for that community that you don't necessarily get when you're in your small pond. Brian, do you want to talk about how, was there something else? I wanted to, you had something you wanted to bring up with something else we wanted to share. Can I mention one time real quick that is not ATG stipulation. They had no strings attached. We just felt like we're so appreciative of them and what they do already, and then for them to offer this for us. We wanted to make sure that whoever did win was going to see the value. Somebody else that's already attended, they generally, when you attend an ATG class and you get that 1.5 inch thick book and you've got the experience those great trainers and the great thing that they bring, generally you're hooked. So we wanted to give ATG an opportunity to build another relationship, basically. So that's our stipulation and not theirs. Yeah.
Real quick, also, Erico from South Main Auto Repair just said he's going to donate a Power Pro 4 also to us to give away in a raffle as well.
Nice.
He said two, actually.
Okay. Do you want to? Anybody else want to go forward? Go for it. Why is it no? Why are not they able to hear you? I'm able to hear you. Is everybody else able to hear him?
I can hear you just fine.
Yeah. So to repeat what he said, I guess if there was an issue, Eric O from South Main Auto, who's got a massive YouTube channel, he says that he's got a Power Pro 4 brand new in box that he will give us to use as a raffle also.
But I guess they had trouble hearing Brian with the ATG thing. So
what Brian said is we've been graciously given 2 seats to give away for an ATG training. What we would like to do, and we chose to do, was we want them to go to first-time attendees for an ATG event. So if you've been to an ATG event, we're going to make it so that you guys aren't eligible, just because we want to get new people in the seats there. As Bryn was talking about, it's not something that ATG asked us to do. They offered us 2 seats to give away with no strings attached, but we all appreciate everything that they do, and we know that everybody that attends their classes knows and understands, how great they are, and the book that you get with them and how useful that is. So we'd like to bring new people to the class so that other people can see what it's all about, and hopefully continue to bring some more people to them.
Awesome. So that
I'm sorry. So Eric actually just corrected me there. It looks like he said there are 2 of them. Yep. So it's 2 Power Probes.
That's awesome.
Wow.
It's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah. This is actually getting out of control.
One of the questions I want to quick get to so that it doesn't get buried. Someone just asked about the training event and said that just to be clear, there's, what did he say here? I'm losing it here. Just to be clear, me, a noob at this with no credentials, can attend this training seminar. There are no cert requirements. There's no certification requirements for any of the training events we go to. There are a couple. There's one coming up soon Bimmers that you have to be a member. That's a BMW organization. But the ones that we all attend, Vision, ASA, PA Super Saturday that's coming up this weekend, no requirements. Auto Mechanica, no requirements. Pretty much everything that you'll see us at, there is no requirements, and you can just sign up, pay the registration fee, and come. But for Super Saturday, they just waived the registration fee for anybody that's here. So if you guys want to come,
please do. There is one, I guess. World Pack is every other year, and you have to be a World Pack customer to attend their event.
True. This is true. We're gonna, if anybody's from World Pack here, we need to see if we can change that for some people.
A quick question on Bruce Oliver's offerings, which I'm blown away with everybody. Thank you so much. This is awesome. But is he talking about the Super Saturday event, or is he talking about Vision?
Which mean?
Registration.
I'm
Bruce
going
Oliver's.
Vision. That's what I'm taking it as.
He said Vision.
He said Vision.
It said
Okay.
He
Vision.
said Vision.
All right. Wow.
Guys,
Bruce Oliver.
me and Brian are going to be MIA for about 3 minutes to fix his audio real quick. So just carry on, please.
Okie dokie. All right, so I guess on to the next thing. We have one more giveaway that we're going to do. If you paid attention to our videos in the past couple weeks, a friend of ours, Michael Nicholson, made some pressure pulse sensors, not unlike a first look sensor. Richard made a video on it, and they're actually really good sensors. He made 3 of them. And what we're doing is the stipulation for that was to sign up for Super Saturday and enter in the drawing, and we'll raffle them off. And so we're still doing that, but I think we're going to push that raffle forward. I may have been mistaken on that one. We're going to push that raffle forward to next day or two, which is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I think the plan is to do it live at the Super Saturday event. Is announce the winner. Was that what we decided on that?
We're kind of going everywhere with that. But I think
we'll get that one straightened out by this weekend.
Yeah, because everything kind of all happened at once, and we want to get it out there. But we are still doing all of this other stuff. So it's actually, we have got a lot of cool stuff going on. So anybody got any questions or anything else to talk about?
I was going to say, so we talked about everything we got going on. It's all the people in the chat. What do you guys got going on? Stuff you guys did this week or had a hard time with, or what do you got?
So let's see. Oh,
now the chat goes silent. I see how it is, guys.
Right? So quick question: is there a limit to how many raffle tickets one could get for the Picoscope?
Yeah. Oh no, there's no limit to how many you can buy, but we're capping it at 200. So
if you want to buy all 200, whatever you want, man. That's the most expensive Picoscope you'd ever buy. Yeah, so you can get as many buy as many raffles as you want, but yeah, we're capping it at 200. And again, all this is going to go towards stuff like what we're doing now. That's what we're about. And with that, I'm going to shut up. And Keith is still not ready to talk.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Let's talk about some of the classes we're signed up for Super Saturday. Tanner, what have you got registered for?
That's what I'm going to go look. I am signed up for Scott Brown's classes, both of them, but I don't remember the names of them. They will be new to me. That's something I guess we should quick touch on, since there's some people asking about training events that haven't been before. Picking classes. I like to pick classes on things that I suck at. That's the biggest thing. Don't pick it. Don't look at a class and go, I know about that. I can sit in on that class and feel comfortable. Pick the class that you're going to absolutely feel terrible and feel like you know nothing about when you sit down, because that's when you're going to learn the most at. So I'm taking Scott's classes, and most of them are on digital stuff, taking pictures of things like that for RO writing. For my case, some articles and case studies and things like that I use that stuff for. So it'll be good classes for me. What's everyone else taking?
I'm looking forward to Brandon's class, honestly. I've been looking forward to that for a while. It looks like it's going to be really good. Anything Brandon does is pretty awesome.
Hi, Brandon. I know you're watching me.
Watching you. He's not paying attention to anybody else. He's watching.
If anybody gets to attend Brandon's class, make sure that you go up as soon as you get in there. Go up and give him a hug and tell him that you just wanted to hug a leprechaun.
Oh boy. Exactly.
All right, people on YouTube.
If anybody,
can you hear me now?
if anybody,
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. If anybody has not figured out from the Facebook group, Brandon and I are the short ones in the group, and will forever be the short ones in the group.
But it's
Tanner's,
also funny
Tanner's
that-
actually
I
on a
think
booster
you're.
seat.
I think you're done growing. I don't think that vertically anyway.
Yeah, I'm definitely done growing. I'm gonna
it's
go
funny.
the other way.
Tanner's short and wears green a lot. It's just not. The jokes write themselves, people.
And the chin
Exactly.
strap. The chin strap.
Chin strap.
Yeah.
I'll carry around a box of Lucky Charms for all of you.
Doc Martens.
So what else
I
is
believe
everybody
I'm
taking?
signed up for Brandon Steckler's class, actually. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Brandon-
Brandon's class is actually completely sold out already.
Really?
They need to add
Well,
more
Snuck
seats.
it in time, man. I'm Super Mario, man.
Is any of the training offered in the Southeast? Auto Mechanica was just at Atlanta.
They'll be
there
back
may-
next year in
there
August.
May possibly be an event. There's what else is there? There's Bryn may be possibly doing something, but isn't there some other stuff that goes on?
Well, I'm going to be doing something April 27th, which is a Saturday. I'm going to have at least one of the drivability guys, Eric Ziegler, potentially Scott Schotten if he's open for that day. Should be a lot of fun. But I know ASA Florida, Mary Steele. We were fortunate that she moved to Florida from Pennsylvania. She was heavily involved with the last year's ASAPA. So she's now on board with ASA Florida, and ASA Florida is coming in with a bang, and we plan on doing quite a bit here the next probably year or so. So I know that she has at least a couple things planned, but yeah, Atlanta next year for sure.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I think Rich fell on the floor. Oh, there he is. He's okay.
He broke a hip.
Don't break your hip down there, old man. That's for earlier. Also down southeast, let's see. I see somebody said SMP, so that's Standard Motor Products. CTI has classes down there. There's probably some WorldPack classes down there too if you have a WorldPack account. What else might be? ATG definitely probably, I'm sure, has some classes down there.
Southeast, like standalone classes, ATG, CTI, Standard. I'm sure, those to name a few, but WorldPack for sure, which WorldPack, you just Google WorldPack training classes and it pretty quickly comes up and you can sign up for any classes. Same with ATG, you can go online and just fill out quick form and submit it, and they'll send you emails for any classes that they're doing in the area. And then I don't know if Rich is able to come in, but if you were to Google CTI training, you can do a very similar thing. You look at their lineup, their season lineup, look at their regions, and see which region's closest to you. So,
Hey, Brent,
yeah.
Would there be a website where someone could go to see all of these training events listed?
Oh yeah, well, the events, yes.
I was just going to say that.
Sorry.
Our website, Train by Tex, has all of
events for
the main events and also some of the local training on there as well, where you can kind of a universal hub for all venues of training.
I will
Most
give
of
you guys a
Brian-
link right now.
Brian has done a great job with keeping the website active and keeping the event things current. Some of this stuff comes and goes. It doesn't make its way off the page right away, but we do our best to make sure that anything coming up is on there. But they're mostly events, and we don't do a lot of standalone class on there. It would take there's way too many of them to keep up with that. But
If there ever is a situation where you guys know of an event that we do not, please let us know, and I can add it to the website and update it, and that way we can let everyone know.
Joe P. should try to get some of those trainers in North Carolina next year. They were just there a week ago. ASTE event. All those guys were up there, or a bunch of them were up there for that.
What about 30 minutes outside of Raleigh, something like that?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
All right. So what else? Anybody else have anything they want to go over?
Specifics, Brian. So the $25 for the Pico raffle, you can go on our website. I assume anybody want to kind of cover specifics on the other two?
Well, the Picoscope raffle is going to begin at the Super Saturday event. Shortly after, we will have a link on our website for you to purchase tickets thereafter, and that way the event the giveaway will last a little bit longer than the Super Saturday event. You know, that's obviously coming up this week, so we need to sell 200 tickets to make that work.
On the ATG thing, there's no. I mean, there's really no. How are they eligible for the ATG thing, other than being first, never having attended an ATG class? What other stipulations are there for that?
There's not really many stipulations. As long as you have not attended an ATG class, that is the stipulation that we issued. Just come visit our booth at the trade show at Super Saturday. Grab a raffle ticket and fill out your name, your shop information, your address, and all that, and we will enter your raffle into the raffle, and we will pick a random winner. There will be 2 winners.
Cool.
I for one would love to meet every single one of you guys who are going to Super Saturday. I'll be hanging around.
You'll regret that comment.
Well, hey, go to the event, it's right. Meet everybody you can, and get it out there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, don't be worried, don't be offended if we don't automatically recognize you or whatever. Just come say hi to us, tell us where we know you're from, because we talk to a lot of people on a lot of different platforms as much as possible. So please come say hi to us, shake our hand, give Tommy a hug.
I like hugs too. Listen, Tommy can get them all.
I like hugs. I'm a good hugger. Very strong. Very strong.
And I don't recognize personal space.
I take up too much personal space.
Cool. You guys want to talk about anything else? Some of the classes that they're going to have at Super Saturday. How to.
I know Pedro de la Torre is doing some Spanish classes.
Yes, he sure is. He is
at least one, right? He's doing 2 classes.
I was doing 2.
He's doing 2 classes. He's doing a misfire class and a scan data analysis class in Spanish. And I personally have hosted one of his classes in my shop, and they are very, very good for people that are primarily Spanish speakers, but yet want to learn a little bit more about how Scan Tool operates in English using Spanish translation. So if anybody's down there and worried about the English barrier, then check out his classes.
Because the classes they're wholly in Spanish, right?
Yes, but for example, when he's showing scan data information, he's actually showing the scan data in English.
Yeah.
To kind of help, since tooling and everything else is going to be in English. So that's also an added benefit, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
So the class list I got up right now: leveraging technologies to streamline diagnosis and repair. It's one class. Essential diagnostic steps, part 2.
Those are both Eric Ziegler, I believe, aren't they?
They could very well be.
I think so.
Critical thinking diagnostic strategies, unlocking the potential of your scan tool, digital tools for service industry professionals. I believe that's
that one's Scott Brown.
Yep. Calibration insights, a look at systems and controls from inside the ECM.
That's Scott Brown too.
Yep. Pressure waveform acquisition analysis from the inside out. I believe that's Brandon's class. Toyota troubleshooting, GM Duramax diesel update, introduction to hybrid and electric vehicles, misfire efficient and effective diagnosis, bilingual, that's Pedro's class, coolant system failure, accessory belt drive systems, shop technology timeline, digital service advisor, digital technician, time management, getting paid for diagnostic work. Management schedule also has mastering digital inspection and sales process.
I just want to pause you right there, real quick.
I'm gonna put that link up quick.
You see how long it took him to go. There's so many options. Like there's something for everybody there. So I look forward to this. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. Just have a good time. If any of us if you guys are going and you see any of us, obviously, like I said, stop and say hi to us. If you see us in the class, stop and make sure you grab us and say hi to us. You'll see us.
What's the hotel arrangements that you guys have figured out for Super Saturday?
Moving on, don't forget that Dave Wagner gave everyone in this chat free access, whatever I'm trying to think. Registration's open to everyone that's on this chat here. So I know that was said a while ago, but I wanted to bring it back up because some people may have just joined us. So
yeah, all 92 of you or 93 of you that are watching and that could possibly go that may not be registered, now's your time because you'll get in for free.
Wow, that's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah. And as far as the hotel arrangements are, bring a sleeping bag.
We personally are renting out a Airbnb, all 10 of us, 9 of us.
And, yeah. Mansion.
And we all be sharing one big mansion of all of us.
I think there may be a hot tub. Just saying.
There will be a hot tub.
Oh no, we better not do a hot tub chat.
Stay tuned for Saturday night live stream.
Good.
That's a different website.
Personal space. Remember that.
Just want to give a shout out to Mike313 from Sydney, Australia. So who's farther away than Australia? Who in the chat?
I don't know how far away it is, but I'm sure he can hear you without your microphone. You are so loud.
Yeah.
So loud.
Could I be any louder?
No, you couldn't.
George today on Pete's thing his audio was amazing, man.
Yeah. George has always been like that, though. Remember, he's given us all some pretty good tips for just recording.
And I want
that, Mike.
That was awesome. Now, I wanted to say, George, I learned a lot from him. I mean, I took, believe it or not, his class at CAN last year. Was it CAN? Yeah, it was CAN. His color coding class. I mean, I thought, just think about it, it's not a big deal, but that class changed how I diagnose cars and how I read wiring diagrams. It's amazing. I still have my multicolored marker and I still use it every day. And that class he has is amazing. And yeah, anything he puts out, he's such an asset to this industry.
Well, he teaches people how to teach themselves. I mean, that's
right.
What's amazing.
So, homie Hector on the live chat there is asking where everyone is located. So why don't we just kind of go across the board and go? And I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
I'm in Cleveland, Ohio.
I'm in Long Island. As Keith says, I'm part of Connecticut, but technically it's Long Island, New York.
He likes long nights on the beach.
I'm from Chicago, Illinois. Like real Chicago, though. Just
I used to be from Chicago.
I'm in.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you got a few floors.
Just two.
I'm in Greenville, South Carolina right now.
Biggest representation is Florida. I'm in Melbourne, Florida.
Yeah, Miami, Florida here.
Miami.
305.
I'm from Omaha.
Yes, Omaha. He's from Omaha, Mexico.
I'm from New Jersey. I live in Florida now. Bradenton, Florida.
Oh, you own it now. Stop it.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't say that I was from upstate New York and I was in South Carolina. So, and I've only been here 7 months. You're officially a Floridian.
You're from Florida.
Not yet.
And Mike, who's being quiet.
Michigan.
There you go.
He talks, people. He does talk.
One word.
So timid.
It's the whole state.
Make sure when you see Mike at Super Saturday, you give him a hug.
A big one.
Make him talk to you.
Yeah. Mike loves people being in his personal space.
Squeeze him.
Well, cool, man. This is fun. Do we want to touch on anything else before we take off, guys? Anybody else out there want to have any questions? Want to bring something up?
Well, I mean, we are going
I'm
to
good
get a
with-
hot tub if you want to touch on other things.
Oh,
That's the way after dark, chat.
Yeah.
Well,
So I'm just monitoring. There's a lag between us asking that and the chat, so I'm monitoring the chat for their questions.
So we got.
any projects they want to see us do?
Oh yeah.
Here you go.
It's a great idea.
Video ideas, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, please. We're out of ideas.
Topic ideas.
Go for it.
Speak.
Got Mark Warren in the chat too.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's Mark.
Cool.
What?
And Mike313 is here from Diag.net.
Dude,
Great website.
have Mark Warren take over and tell some stories.
Drew's Auto asked about any thought on the new Infinity variable compression turbo engine.
Yeah, that'll work well.
Is it going to vary as well?
I've driven one, but we haven't had enough time on. I mean, no one's had one long enough to really see the long-term defects of it.
Oh, it's common.
What are we talking about? What I missed that.
Nice. Keith.
Variable
Variable
compression.
Yeah. So I'm trying to make sure because people are asking about snap-on scope stuff.
Yeah.
Do we have any thoughts on that?
Keith and Brian are probably, and maybe, Chris are probably, I'm not I have a snap-on scope, but I use the Pico like 99% of the time. So
I still use my my old Legacy Modus. It's my go-to when I'm doing things. Believe it or not.
I think Keith and Brian are probably pretty good.
I use both. I use both whenever I can. I have my Pico scope built into a cart, so it's kind of like a permanent thing. Not quite permanent, but it is kind of difficult to get it out of that cart. So when I need to do a test drive or something, or say I'm at a car that's far away from my cart or something, I'm going to use my Verus. And I use both daily, and I like them both for different reasons.
So my scope is the clone of a Snap-on clone.
Yeah, what is that thing you got there?
The MIG-SIG? Yeah, the MIG-SIG is actually pretty neat.
I like it. It responds well. I gotta say, it responds very well.
Yeah.
Pretty happy with it. Pretty happy. 4-channel. It's one of the lower models. They have like a higher end model, but I think from here on out, I think I'll just, if I don't get a Pico, I won't bother with anything else. To be honest.
$25 is a raffle ticket.
So there's someone's asking about what is Diag.net, and we didn't mention it yet, but you can. Is it support@diag.net? Is that the email?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Okay, so if you're not familiar with Diag.net, it is a large forum style, currently a forum style website, and it is literally Diag.net is the name of the website. And Keith's got a little scrolling marquee at the bottom of his screen there. It is a paid service. If you email support@diag.net and just put TBT trial inside the email, you will get a 30-day free trial to check it out.
A little louder.
Okay, sorry. I normally project really well when I'm speaking, so
You're projecting really, really well.
yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to tone it down a little.
I see an interesting one I want to grab quick in the chat.
Yes.
313 says, "Hey, we are trialing ASE testing in Sydney next month. Are you guys ASE qualified?" Some of us, actually, I think all of us at least have some ASEs.
Yep.
Myself, Keith Perkins, and Chris Martino actually were lucky enough to spend some time up at ASE headquarters helping to update one of the ASE tests a few months back. I personally am master certified L1 and L3. I think most of the guys here
Yeah, I'm the same.
at least have several. Yeah, Brian's the same. So yeah, it's there's a lot that goes into it. There's a whole lot that goes into it behind the scenes. So it'll be, let me know what you guys in Australia think about it. There's a ton of work that ASE puts in that people don't know about, trying to make sure that the tests are good and understandable across the board.
Yeah, that whole process is, it's an eye-opening process of what goes on behind the scenes, and we can't really talk about a lot of it. But I mean, it's like we all went in thinking certain things about it, and our eyes were definitely open. It's actually a really credible process.
Well,
cool.
if I can,
go for it.
If I can say something, for those of you, I wasn't fortunate enough to attend that, but I did see a Remarkable Results podcast episode, or listen to one at least, with Matt Fonslow, Jan Baumhart, and Ryan Koyman, and they talked about that process because they were all in that process together on a Remarkable Results podcast. And for me, just listening to that, hearing what goes into it is kind of eye-opening, and I kind of became an ambassador for ASE after that. So I've always kind of felt that there's a value for it. I don't know, that's a whole, there's kind of some debate sometimes with that, but I see a value in it, and we definitely support ASE, and we keep our credentials current.
At this point in time, I mean, that's the only thing that our field has for any type of certification, really, for us. So like it or not, it's there, and they are trying really hard to keep it relevant, keep it current. And unless we all support them and try to help them with it, their hands will be tied unless we're there for them. And if we want the field to be more respected in the public's eyes and get more professional, I mean, it's really, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to certifications and things like that. Doctors, nurses, every other field has certifications. We don't have anything other than ASE. So,
well, the other thing too is there's so much more than just that blue emblem. I mean, they're involved in so many other things. National, the NATEF, which they've changed the names recently. Which I'm sure Keith Perkins, being the encyclopedia that he does, he can probably help us with some of that stuff. But they've changed the names of a lot of them. But they're involved with so much more than just the technician and service advisor certification process. Going back to diagnostic. Oh.
No, go ahead. Also, somebody was asking about the podcast, so that we mentioned.
Okay, Remarkable
What was
Results.
the question?
I think they were just asking what podcast we were talking about. I was just leaving it open so I didn't have to talk.
Remarkable Results podcast. I think we're working on probably maybe 3.5, 4 years. Carm Capriato started this podcast, and basically he just started interviewing primarily successful, originally entrepreneurs is what he called them. So primarily successful shop owners he would interview, and they would share kind of their experiences. They'd share their successes, their failures, things like that. And here we are 4 years later. It's morphed into a lot more than that. He's done a lot of technician interviews. He's done a lot of just the show has brought a ton of value to the industry just by being able to open up conversations. Town Hall Academies he does every Friday, I think, from 12 to 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. Generally has 3 or 4 different professionals in the industry that talk about one specific topic. And even with the Automotive Management Institute, they've designated, I believe it's at least 6 of his classes that you can, or 6 of his episodes that you can listen to, that you can actually get credits, AMI credits toward some of the programs that they offer. Kind of similar to ASE, but it's more geared toward the management end of the industry. So remarkableresults.biz, definitely check them out. There's so many iHeart Radio. There's all kinds of different ways you can listen to his things. Very good to listen to it to and from work, and just kind of get tuned in to what's going on in the industry industry as a whole. Like, get part of the big picture. It's so easy to be part of our small little pond, and we don't really see what's going on. So listen to these conversations and learn what's going on.
Agreed.
I just saw in the YouTube chat that Mark Warren said he's retiring this December after 20 years, which is, you know,
retiring from motor. Yeah.
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 Well, yeah.
Motor is not going to be the same without him. I hope that Mark can still contribute every once in a while.
I remember when I started out sweeping floors and reading the trade magazines, I'd look forward to reading his stuff every time it would come out. And I finally got to sit in a TST class last year, the year before, when he came to teach, and it was kind of like meeting one of my heroes. It was really awesome. He's an awesome dude. Got to meet him at NCTS this year. I went over and shook his hand and told him that he meant a lot to me, because he's a great dude.
It's a TST event. Is that the year that he told the story about peeing in the river?
No, that was the year he told the story about how he welded a nut in the exhaust on his rental car and almost blew it up.
Yeah, that's the same.
Almost.
That was the same class. The diagnostic, the river. That if your diagnostic approach that he talks about.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
The research he did for that car that he rented was for research purposes, of course, and for that class. But he also wrote a series of articles for Motor, of course. That's one of my favorite articles, was that EcoBoost that he was working on and showing what different failures, how they would react, because it was primarily all of the Fords, OBD2 and beyond, were mass airflow type systems. So we're going into these forced induction speed density systems, and it's just it changed, especially the combination of being speed density and forced induction. So it's just kind of cool to see how these cars reacted, and those were some of my favorite articles.
Oh well.
So quick question, fellas. That Pico series, how far are you guys gonna take that? Are you guys gonna take that to like an advanced level?
Well,
we've done a lot of advanced stuff already, but we may. I don't know. I'll let Brian answer.
We started this series because we've done advanced level stuff in the past, and we've had some requests of some more entry level watchers to bring things down to their level, and maybe even give some tips that maybe a veteran user may not even know exist. And that was kind of our goal with this series, was to make them basic, and just because we've done so many advanced level stuff in the past. But we definitely look forward to doing more advanced level stuff in the future, as well as other scopes, other tools, scan tools. The sky's the limit. We're gonna be continuing to do content on all things, not just tool usage, but case studies and whatever we can produce.
Also, we need ideas though. So as you guys think of stuff that you need, you
absolutely
have something that you have a question on. If you find yourself Googling or going on YouTube and looking through the channels trying to find a video and you don't see it, or you don't find it on Google, shoot us a message and we'll put a video out on it. Between all of us in our group, there's going to be somebody that will be able to get you an answer, whether we know it or not. We'll be able to find you one.
So, of course, there's the request in there for some in-cylinder transducer testing, and they want some of that, which for me is very tough to do when I'm out on the road.
I would love. I happen to have some. Most of my stuff is pressure pulse, like intake and exhaust, but I do have some in cylinder. I'd be glad to share some of that. But we're hoping that Brandon is very good with this stuff. He's gonna have an amazing class for the Super Saturday event. In my opinion, Brandon is one of the best in the industry with this stuff. So we're hoping that Brandon, I think he's gonna. I can't speak for him, but we're kind of hoping that we can nudge him and convince him.
It's the way he says it in layman's terms that makes you understand it and really, drives it home.
Bill, just one thing to keep in mind too.
That was, that's something that you have to learn 3 times in a row, and then you get somebody like Brandon teaches it to you once, and you go, oh yeah, you know.
That's a skill to have, to be able to do that. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
And I think something to keep in mind. Go ahead, Mario.
Okay, Tanner.
So, one thing to keep in mind for our videos is we try to keep all our videos 10 to 15 minutes. So some of the stuff may be too in-depth to cover on a video, and that's the time that we want to get you guys out to the training classes to do that stuff, because we're kind of trying to give you a knowledge on how to perform a test and a little bit of information, but the really in-depth of understanding everything, we'd like you to get out to a training event in person, sit in a class, whether it be a CTI class, ATG class, any local class, or a conference like ASA Super Saturday or Vision or whichever conferences you guys choose to go to.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not a replacement for formal training at all.
Supplement.
We're kind of a supplement and a fill-in. Yeah.
And that's, I think, what we found. Most of us are just passionate about this stuff, so we attend these classes, and unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess depends on which way you look at it, most of them are offered in the evening after you've worked a hard day. And to sit in a class, whether it's one night or 2 nights, they're generally 3.5 to 4 hours long, and I refer them to as being like blasted with a fire hose of information. There's a lot of stuff covered in that short period of time, and you just can't take away all of it. So what we hope to do is basically supplement those. That's the primary source of knowledge. We hope to, in our little 15-20 minutes with you, once a week or whatever it is, we hope to be able to kind of reinforce some of those things that you've learned, and just have just another way of showing them or whatever. So.
In chat, Bill mentioned if we would do some Snap-on Verus / Zeus training. I don't think any of us have a Zeus, but we have done some Snap-on events in the past, and we are going to do some more. Well, we actually kind of planned on doing a Snap-on series soon as well to cover the basics and leading into some more advanced tests as well. So stay tuned for more videos to come on that.
Specifically, Brian has helped us with the ShopStream software.
Yeah.
And I think Pedro de la Torre helped us with a few things, emailing I think some of the files through the tool, setting up the triggers for the scan tool, and showing us how we can put both the scope and the scan tool, like scan data, on the same screen, and so that we can run a test or look at data while we're scoping it as well. So Pedro de la Torre did one that was pretty awesome, and then Brian, I know, and then Chris Martino also did fuel pump current ramping. So if you guys know of any other Snap-on ones, be sure to specifically mention them, but those are the ones that come to mind for me.
One of the guys in the chat, Drew's Auto, asked, how does he start a train by text on the West Coast? Get out to your training events and meet guys, network, create a group of friends, and create your own group. Do the same thing as us. This group basically started, almost 2 years ago now? A year and a half ago?
A little over a year.
Over a year ago. The first Auto Mechanica, none of us knew each other. We talked online, all went out to dinner. Actually, I think Tommy organized the first dinner. Tommy organized the dinner, Bryn and I met, and then it kind of snowballed from there.
It was never the same yet. Social life went down the drain.
Yeah.
We all lost our social lives since then. It's my fiance's birthday today, and I'm sitting here right now with all of you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is our social life. We're doing this till 1, 2 in the morning every night.
I'm supposed to be out fixing cars.
Yeah.
We're not that crazy.
Yeah. So as far as Drew's Auto, by the way, I know Drew personally, and I got to tell you, he's another one of those guys that has that real ambition in this industry. Always trying to learn. He got out there for his very first class recently, and went to a lab scope class, and right away I got a phone call and everything about how great it was, and life changing for him, and I'm hoping that he lands himself in the right spot out there, because California, some areas are great, some areas a little tough, and I think he's going to be shooting out there to become a mobile tech as well. But that's another guy out there, though, who really, I wish everybody was like him, because he really is. He just, every last bit of information that he could possibly get, does his own research, knows better than to ask me a question unless he spent the whole night researching it himself first. But he's a great guy.
Awesome.
Any idea where in California he's from?
What's the bad neighborhood?
There's some great people that are out in California. That's why I'm asking. AES Wave, somebody that we spoke about, George Menchu earlier. They've really done a lot for the industry and a lot for helping us just as people, talking us through things through the years. They're in California, so you have some great guys that are already out there. I'm just not sure where you're located. They're in Northern California, but there's other great trainers out there as well.
They're in Fresno, aren't they?
They're in Fresno. He just said San Bernardino.
All the good stuff is out in California.
ATG is based in California, so
they're near San Diego. I have a friend, John Bridgewater, with Wrights Automotive. He's an awesome guy. Teaches for Standard. He's in San Leandro area, Oakland, San Leandro area. A lot of good stuff. Luscious Garages in San Francisco.
Scott Brown Shop is in Cali, which is awesome.
There's a lot of great shops out there, but it's a big A state, so.
Yeah.
Did we have more questions?
The Mike from Australia asked us to explain.
Well, more importantly, Tanner, Mike from upstate, he wanted to tell you to tell Clarissa said happy birthday.
I did see that. I saw that. I will tell her.
Well, no, you need to go tell her now. I think.
Call her in the room.
She needs to be on the camera now.
That won't happen. She's in bed already. I got told that earlier. She goes to bed while I'm on here talking with everybody.
Ouch.
So.
Yeah, I'm missing bedtime too.
What did Mike ask, Tanner?
Wanted to know more about our group. I was trying to find it, but I lost it in the chat.
You kind of told basically,
basically we're a group of guys that met at a training event and became friends and wanted to do something to help and better the industry. We don't get anything out of it other than the pleasure of helping people, basically. So we're here to try to make life better for technicians that are in phase. Give a supplement to training that you attend in person. So if you go to a training event and you learn something and you get back to the shop and you're not quite sure how to implement it, that's pretty much what our videos are supposed to be for. And our goal is just to get more people involved in training and do more things in the industry. So that's a short version of our group, I guess.
It's interesting. I'm watching this chat here in the YouTube side, and I'm enjoying watching. This is like when we go out to to some of these training events and we do our networking. It happens even here in the chat, but it's so much better when you get out there to the training seminars and you guys can shake hands and say, "Hey, how you doing? I'm this person." It's the one thing that a lot of people miss out on by not going to these big events.
You judge them for the beer that they drink.
If any of you are going to Super Saturday and you're in Brandon Steckler's class, he drinks pumpkin spice beer.
Don't kick him out of the closet like that.
That's what he gets for not coming on the chat.
I was talking to him earlier. He's fine. He's busy.
Hey, he just said he's working. What is he working on?
My guess would be
a
footstool.
No, Tanner's making that for him. Oh no, Tanner's making cookies.
So I did have one from the chat I wanted to address. Jason Chavez said, "Hey Keith, besides the Vera scanner," I think he was talking to the Fazio, which scanner can I get with a good troubleshooter? And I kind of I made a quick joke, but not quite really a joke, something I'm pretty passionate about. I said, Jason, the best troubleshooter is between your ears.
Exactly.
He said, you can't know every code you come face with. You know what I mean? And Jason, I 100% agree. So my next comment was the best part about knowing is knowing where to find out. So what I tell people, I get a lot of guys I work with, my apprentice tells me all the time, he goes, well, how'd you learn all this stuff? And I have a really good memory, but the most important thing that I want everyone to realize is that you can't know everything. It's a lot of work to figure it all out. So the best thing you can do is teach yourself how to learn, teach yourself where to find the answers, learning to look at your descriptions of operations of things. And that's going to be what's harder. So I'm not going to be an advocate for a tool that has a troubleshooter because it can't know all the variables. You're there with the car. You can physically see the car, smell the car, hear the car. All those things are important. So I like to personally just say that try not to get a scanner because of a troubleshooter. It might be a good idea to use some of those resources that have troubleshooters for platforms you're not very familiar with, maybe, to give yourself a direction. But I would prefer that all techs, build a critical thinking test plan yourself.
A large part of what we do is, which I have to work on. Tanner talked about focusing on stuff that you suck at, and acquiring information and knowing where to find it is such a big part of diagnostics. And so I back Keith up 100%. That's a skill that you need to work on almost constantly because it's ever changing. I mean, you go to a manufacturer site and then they change it, and now you have to figure out where to find that stuff that you used to know where it is. So it's like non-stop, ever changing. That's such an important skill for diagnostics, is knowing how to find the service and the information that you need to figure out these cars.
And diagnostics is 75% research and 25% testing. Once you know the system, you can do the tests. You don't need a troubleshooter to guide you through that.
Yeah, well, I remember when I was still getting dirty. If I would pull in a car and that especially if it's a newer car that I'm not familiar with, I would spend a good 20 minutes doing research before I even pop the hood. You're doing a complete full code scan, and in case if it's a European car, it's a code scan, erase, test drive, code scan, see what comes back, figure out how it works, and then maybe get a look up a wiring diagram and then pop the hood. But that's just me. That's how I do it. But yeah, it's all research.
And one thing I want to point out there too, I'm going to go out on a limb here. There's a lot of different service info that's out there that can make up for not having a troubleshooter in a tool. We pretty much everybody in this group uses a plethora of different service information, including OE. But one of the things that's out there too, I'm not a big fan of the silver bullet part of it, but on Identifix and then there was some on IETM with the knowledge-based stuff too. If you use that information correctly, there is ways to learn from it. On Identifix in particular, again, I really don't care for the silver bullet part of it because of things that it causes, and it's not always correct. But in that section, a lot of times, if you're looking at a wiring diagram and something's not labeled on a computer, it will tell you what the voltage is supposed to be on a wire. Then go back and look at that wiring diagram and understand and study and research and see why that voltage should be on that wire. What are you looking at on the diagram? What's the symbol that you weren't quite sure of what it was, and then it gives you that description so that you can kind of go back and forth between it and learn about how that circuit works. It's all about teaching yourself and getting out there and finding that information that you need. And there's tools that are out there to do it. The key is using them to learn and not using them as a crutch, basically.
I would agree.
Here.
If I could just point out, not to rely on just one source of information. I mean, it's basically collecting data, collecting information, collecting descriptions, theories, operations. If you use a troubleshooter, you're putting all your eggs in one basket. Basically, you're just relying on one source. So that can be a mistake if it's not done right.
Absolutely.
That means building a library of your own as well of everything known good, not just scope patterns, save data. Go in there and take a car that runs well and just shoot down the road there after doing an oil change and, take a screenshot of the data, take a movie of the data that you see. Take it out there and hit it, at a low, a nice grandma throttle, the 17-year-old throttle, and then, and then just wants to make it to the airport throttle.
Isn't the 17-year-old throttle and the airport throttle the same thing?
No, sir. The 17-year-old keeps on going on and off like this.
Okay.
Dad going to the airport goes, forget it, got to get there.
And one thing I see some people talk about when a car's not in one of the shop service information softwares, when we run into that, a lot of us are using OE information too. I mean, pretty often when I find something that I think might be wrong, a wiring diagram or something, or I can't find the information that I need, and I just pay the script and get what I need off the OE website so that I can have the correct information before tackling it. I think that's one of the hardest things right now. It was actually on one of the Facebook groups they were talking about, shops today not scanning vehicles and not looking at wiring diagrams and some stuff like that. And to properly diagnose a vehicle, you have got to look up the car and figure out what you're working with. You can't just guess, because you have no idea. If you guess, unless you know that car like the back of your hand, you don't know what other systems are at play behind the scenes. You don't know how many modules there are controlling one thing. A prime example is air conditioning. I see air conditioning stuff constantly that people will say, oh, well, the air compressor doesn't come on, it must be this, it must be that, without scanning the car and seeing that, it's got a code in the PCM that's basically shut down the HVAC module, or it's got problems in the HVAC module that may no longer exist. Maybe it was low at one point and it's now full, but it's still shut down because the codes weren't cleared out of it. Chryslers with lighting, when a bulb blows and it sets a code in the module and doesn't allow the light to work again until the code's cleared. So unless you know the car you're working on, it's simple stuff like that comes from researching it.
There's a couple questions in the chat about NVH usage, and I wanted to mention that I personally just recently got an NVH, and I look forward to doing some case studies based on that tool. I know there are people like Matt Shanahan has discussed a lot of NVH stuff, and we look forward to doing some stuff with him hopefully in the future.
Yeah, definitely hope. I know he's building a full-on legit, I think it might be like an 8-hour class or something. I can't remember the details, but he's doing something pretty serious, it sounded like, and we're hoping that he can do, a couple 10-minute things to touch on some of that for us.
Yeah, and Brian was mentioning in the chat too, I don't know if he wanted to bring it up, that Hans Jorgensen, he uses some, Hans or Hans, depending on where you are, uses the piezo elements as his NVH, and Hans is he's a friggin' genius for that stuff. He makes the weirdest tools work the weirdest ways for diagnosis. It's awesome. He's just a great dude.
And he's a West Coaster, so for you guys that were asking about the West Coast, he's over in Utah.
Yeah, it's like him, a bunch of Mormons, and then him.
Well,
but
I was fortunate enough to meet with him and Justin while I was out there, and Justin's out. They're only like an hour apart, so there's at least two like-minded professionals out there if you guys are in Utah. But almost everybody that's in Utah, it's like the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon or whatever. I'm pretty sure Hans and Justin both have some pretty tight connections with the church. I don't think they're members per se, but I think it's in their blood. It can hardly not be in your blood when you're out there.
I used to live in Las Vegas, and the Mormon population there is more than you would think.
Yeah, Nevada, Idaho, Utah, of course, Arizona, that whole kind of region. It's got quite a bit going on.
And just to say again, by the way, Eric is leaving. Thank you again for the donation.
Yes, thanks, Eric.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Eric. If I hit a deer with my vehicle before you kill one, you owe me lunch.
All right. Is any more questions?
Gentlemen.
I think that's a good spot to end it.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a couple of NVH questions, but I think those are things we can answer with the video.
Yeah.
A lot easier.
Yeah, exactly.
And when is the next nighttime discussion?
Now you're asking.
Fireside chat?
A fireside chat. I like the name. It's a fireside chat.
Sometime.
I like the
probably-
diagnostics after dark.
Yeah. There'll probably be some short little videos throughout the weekend, I would assume. Us all being in one room.
Yeah, we're gonna do a video on the ATG raffle to announce the winner. So stay tuned for that. And we will also do them in the future for the others.
Yeah, we plan on doing a lot more live stream stuff. Because actually, this is a great way to interact.
And we'll see Mark Warren this weekend.
Yes.
Yep.
Cool.
If anybody else sees Mark Warren, ask him about all his stories. He's a great storyteller.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't risk.
Listen, some of them you can manage.
No, don't tell him nothing. Just go ask, tell Mark Warren you want to hear stories.
This is all you need to know, right, Tanner?
He already warned us once to shut up.
That's what I was gonna say.
Real quick, thank you to Jim Morton, George and Carlos Menchu. Thank you to ATG.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce Oliver. Thank you, Eric O. I know I'm missing one.
Bruce Oliver?
No, I mentioned Bruce Oliver.
Michael Nicholson.
Michael Nicholson.
Mike Nicholson.
Yes.
Thank you guys for doing what you do. We really appreciate it.
And we thank you.
Thank you for everybody that came in tonight.
Yes.
Thank all you guys.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank
appreciate
you.
the invite, fellas.
All right.
Thank you,
Mario.
for coming.
Mario, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming by.
You owe me some money, bro.
We all just agree on each one of these.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Keith?
I said, can we all agree though that Mario needs one of these hats?
No.
No.
I want a hat.
Big no.
Quick, before we go, everybody in the chat tell Keith that you don't like his hat, so I can be right for once.
I've seen Keith
Not happening.
I've seen Keith without the hat. I prefer the hat.
I saw him with his hair gelled once.
That's not a compliment.
All right, guys. Well, I'm out of here. Thank you guys for everything. Thank you for hanging out.
All right.
See everybody Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yep.
see everybody this weekend.
All right.
Thank you.
But
Right.
Are we off yet?